Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you.
All right. Hey y'all, hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl Shay Baby with the Brown Book series, and I am here with another edition of just greatness. That's right, I have another great author today. She is a New York Times, USA Today's publisher's best-selling, editor's choice, American Idol, all that best-selling author. And I just got to bring her here because I'm just so super excited and so geeked to have her here. Ladies and gentlemen, award-winning author, Miss Laurie Foster. Hi,
Well,
Laurie.
Hi. Thank you for that lovely intro. That was very nice.
How are you, darling?
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing really, really well. You know, feeling very fortunate in these crazy times that me and mine are all healthy and well and still working, and no one's had COVID, you know, so we're doing great.
Yeah, so hey, you won the battle already.
Right.
Thank God. Thank God for that. So, Miss Laurie, oh my God, I'm so happy to meet you. Well, actually, I met you a couple of years ago. We were in Chicago at KissCon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you was there with your husband, and y'all was just so freaking sweet.
We try.
You guys was. You was taking me down the memory lane of you and Brenda Jackson.
Oh, I love Brenda. She is just one of the kindest, most awesome people you're ever going to meet.
Yeah, I absolutely love her too. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. You was like, yes, cause I married my high school sweetheart, and Brenda married hers. I was like, y'all like double mint twins. It was so cool.
Right. Yeah, when she and I first met, we had so much in common without having known we had so much in common. Mostly family type stuff.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. And then we would go years without seeing each other, see each other at a conference, and it was like we've been visiting all along, you know. Yeah. She's just a phenomenal person. I don't think I've ever heard her say an unkind word about anybody.
Yeah, you know? She's so sweet. Yeah,
she really is.
And your husband was like double sweet too. I was like, hi, can you take our picture? He was like, yeah, sure, no problem.
He lives to take pictures. He knows he has to do it a lot for me.
He does. He was like, okay, moving a little closer. Okay, go this way. I was like, he was so sweet. So Laurie, okay, this might be a dumb question, but you know, hey, we got newbies in this thing. Can you tell us a little bit about you?
About myself? Yeah. I'm a animal lover. We used to have 5 cats. 2 have since passed away with old age, so now we're down to 3. They were all once feral. The house we used to live at, we would catch the feral cats, get them treated, fixed, all that, and then turn them loose again. And every so often, one would say, nope, you already did all that, I'm moving in. So they would just come on in and stay. So I have 3 sons. I have 3 grandsons and a granddaughter, and feeling extremely blessed.
That's what's up. So,
okay, and I think we've been married for 43 or 44 years now. I'd have to ask the math guy when he comes back in here, but it's been a while.
Girl, honey, I'm just trying to make 10. So when we got out, we had our 9th anniversary. I was like, okay, woo, how many more years I got? Like, what's this?
Yeah, but you're young, so you don't want to be counting, you know, in the 40s until you're old like me. So you've got plenty of time to do that.
This is true. This is true. I guess we'll figure it out. You know, I get on his nerves, I think, especially COVID. He's like, so there's no job you can go to? Like, everybody's closed. You can't go nowhere.
This seems like a busy job to me, what you're doing. So
yeah, that's what I tell you. When you see him, can you tell him that I'm busy?
Absolutely. Give me his email. I'll message him, let him know.
You know, I'm gonna send it to you too, because this is just crazy. Okay, Miss Laurie. Okay, so publishing. You've been in this game for a while.
For a long time, yes.
Yes, for a long time. Well, first of all, before we talk about publishing, like, how did you know that you wanted to become a writer? Was this like a lifelong dream? Did you write poetry when you was a kid? Like, when did you get the writer's bug?
So, no, I didn't like reading, actually. You know, I always feel like the books they give us in school to read are depressing. And so to me, it was always a hardship to have to read the stuff they gave to us because it would just bring you down. And I'm all about being entertained. real life is real life. And if you're going to read or see a movie, you want to be entertained. So I already had 3 sons, and I got sick, and my sister brought me over a bag of romance novels, and I had never read romance. So I got halfway through the first one and was entirely hooked. And I think I probably spent a year or so just reading. And you know how it is. You're reading a book that you absolutely love, but it doesn't end quite the way you want, or it takes a path that, as the reader in your mind, you were already anticipating something else. So I started out sort of as like fan fiction, taking an existing idea and just running with it the way I thought it should have gone. And the next thing I knew, I was writing books.
Oh, wow.
Publication wasn't that easy, though. Getting published took a while. Did
it?
But the writing just seemed to come very naturally.
So how long did it take for you to become published?
I think it was a little over 5 years. I wrote over 10 books. And back then there were a lot more publishers. So I was submitting books to everyone under the sun. And of course, this was pre-computers, so everything was typewritten. And you would have to go up to the stationery shop and print an entire copy of your 600-page book and pay to mail it out. We lived on a budget. We had 3 boys all in school, and my husband was the breadwinner, and I was the stay-at-home mom. So it was a challenge to juggle that, to fit it into the budget to do it. And then back then you would literally wait sometimes a year before you would hear back from an editor as to whether or not they wanted any part of the book, if they wanted revisions on it, if it was just a very polite, no, thank you. So it was a whole different process than it is now. Now I feel like it's easy. You email that sucker in and you hear back right away,
Right.
Yeah.
So are you always, has it always been like a traditional publishing for you, or have you ever been either hybrid or, did you start out indie? Like what's been your experience, and what is your experience now as far as publishing goes?
So I was always traditionally published.
Okay.
Way back, and I don't even remember the name of it now. When digital publishing very first started, I was approached by someone to try an ebook, and there was a book that my publisher Harlequin had rejected. So I gave them that, and they published that in digital format. I was always all about welcoming authors. I always felt like however someone got published, if they finished a book start to finish and they had polished it, they were a writer. I was never one to judge, you're not traditionally published or it's a vanity press. I didn't do that. And that book did okay. So then later when I got published with Kensington, they took that story over and traditionally published it as well. So that was my one and only toe in the water of digital publishing, digital only publishing. But otherwise, I've always just been traditionally published.
Okay, and that works for you. You cool with it? It's been working.
Yeah.
Hybrid. Yeah. Okay, cool.
I mean, at this point, I'm like that old dog that doesn't want to learn a new trick. I see my middle son is indie published. Okay. And I see how much work it takes besides just the writing of the book. The getting the right cover that you like and all the proofreading and the editing and the loading it up to publishing and all that. And I just don't even, I send it off to my editors and they take care of all that. So that works better for me.
So your son, he's the author too?
Yes. So he writes, he wrote horror for a while. Horror, I always try to say that very carefully. Scary stuff. And then he's writing like a science fiction type thing now. And doing fairly well. So yeah, I'm extremely proud of him. J.Z. Foster.
J.Z. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, J.Z. Foster.
J.Z. Foster. Okay, Mrs. Laurie. So there's a couple of segments we do here at the Brown Book Series. And one of them is called Name That Book. Well, we take either a character, a synopsis, a passage, or anything from one of your books, and you have to name that book.
Oh, geez, because I have like over 120. I'm not going to know. I'll try. I'll do my best.
We try to make them real easy.
Okay.
I didn't go way back. I was like, I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to,
I just know I'm going to bomb on this.
No, you're going to do great. You're going to be the bomb on it. I'm telling you, you're going to do great.
Okay.
Okay. First up, name that book. Character, Josie Jackson.
Oh, that was tantalizing, I think, maybe.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. I knew one. Yay.
Yes, tantalizing. That was a great book. I was
That
like,
was
what?
way back when I wrote just category, so that was quite a while ago.
That really was. And the name, why did you come up with that name?
Josie Jackson?
No, tantalizing.
Oh, I don't. I never ever title my own books. I leave that up to the editor. I don't know if this is totally PG rated show you have here, but
It's not. It's actually nowhere near PG rated. I'll be trying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I if I try to come up with a book title, it's always really, really hideous. So ages ago, I submitted a book, and the lead character's name was Eli. So you're probably way too young to remember this, but there was a song, Eli's Coming, Hide Your Heart, Girl. So I titled the book Eli's Coming. Without thinking about it. And the editor actually called me up and said, I just wanted to let you know, I haven't read this yet, but the title is hilarious. So I thought, okay, that's it for me. I'm not, because it just, I'm oblivious, just anything to slap a title on. So I just leave it up to my publisher to choose titles.
That is hilarious. Yeah, we want you to choose some more titles around here. Hey, you're going now. This day and age, it would be hilarious. Okay.
Yeah.
Name that book. It's a passage. Yeah, well, for me, it is. She screwed up her face. I have a tendency to speak first and think later.
Crap, that's all my female characters to speak first and think later.
Characters. Yeah, you do.
Well, I have no idea.
We'll give you this one because this was kind of a back,
Uh-huh.
Murphy's Law.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Series book 2.
All right.
She's like,
that was a tricky one for me.
Right. Okay, so this one might be good. You're gonna remember this one because this was, I'm telling you, Miss Laurie.
No pressure.
No pressure. And you're doing great. I'm telling you, you're doing great. Okay. It's a passage.
Okay.
Name that book. All right. I want you, she repeated, a little louder, but still low enough that no one seemed to notice. He hadn't imagined it.
Oh, God, I have no idea.
Miss Laurie.
I have no idea. Grace and Noah, maybe? I'm not sure.
Reese Noah was good.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Now I remember it. Now that you've said it. Tamara. Yeah, Tamara said that.
Yes.
It's coming back to me. Yes.
Okay. One more.
Okay.
You're going to get this one.
Keep saying that.
No, Miss Laurie, again, if you don't get this one, we're going to have to end the interview, okay?
Okay.
Name that book. Kate McKenzie.
That would be holding back. I have my cheat books right here for myself.
Yes. His latest novel, No Holding Back.
Yes.
Miss Laurie.
Yes.
First of all, there be some fine men in your books. And the way you
try.
No, you did great. Just in case you didn't know, you do a good job. And then even the way you describe them, I'm like, let Miss Laurie up there. Let me figure out let me find out she up there just, fantasizing on good-looking men and writing about it. So, can you tell us a little bit about this novel without giving us too much of a spoiler? Because you have another one coming up too, and we're going to talk about that. Okay,
yeah. So the book is based on an entire family, 2 brothers and a sister, are raised by the father to be ass kickers. I'm going to say that because you said this isn't PG rated, and they've had all sorts of training, so they're extremely proficient in weapons and hand-to-hand combat and strategies. So they really, really know what they're doing, and their main purpose is something that's near and dear to my heart right now, is combating human trafficking. And so that's their main focus. And in Cade's book, he's sort of undercover as a bartender. His brother's sort of undercover as a gym owner. and their sister works at home. She's a tech whiz on the computer. And so Cade meets a woman who walks into his bar, and he immediately knows that she has secrets. But what he doesn't realize is that she also immediately knows that he's more than just a bartender. And little by little, they end up working together and, of course, fall in love and have hot sex and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's the part we love, the hot sex part.
What's that?
That's the part we love, the hot sex part. And speaking of hot sex,
Okay.
it brings us to another segment in the Brown Book series called Who'd You Rather?
Okay.
What we take take heroes from your books and we pit them against each other, and you gotta let us know who would you rather, one night stand it with. Yeah. It's all hypothetical. Tell your husband don't get mad at us.
Because I say I'm so happily married. I don't know. Okay, but we'll pretend.
Yes, it's all make believe, as my nephew said. Auntie, is that make believe? I'd be like, does that mean pretend? Yeah. So it's all pretend. Okay. Who'd you rather? Cannon Coulter or Denver Lewis?
Cannon Coulter. Denver was a caveman.
Yeah.
So I loved writing him, but he was not the most enlightened of males. So we'd go with Cannon. He was a lot more sensitive.
Okay, we'll go with Cannon. Okay, see?
Yeah.
You was like,
that was an easy one.
I should have did this first before the name the book song. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, who'd you rather? Jax Remy or Morgan Hudson?
I'm going to say Morgan because Morgan was hilarious. And I don't remember who Jax Remy is. So. Was he from the Buckhorns? I can't remember.
Yeah, he's from this. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Morgan because I remember Morgan. So
I love it. All right, last one. Who'd you rather? Mitch Cruz or Jack Cruz?
Mitch, because Jax was always angry.
He was.
He was. Mitch just had a huge heart, and he was very open about people's mistakes because he'd made so many of his own. And Jack just sort of walked around ticked off all the time. So
he was. I like Jack. He had that bad boy. I'm upset.
He had reasons for it. Let's just put it that way. He had reasons for it. I got a cat next to me trying to get on my lap. So when you see my arm doing this, that's me trying to keep the cat from jumping up here in front of us.
Yeah, it's okay. They can be a part of the Brown Book series too. We love cats.
Okay, good.
Absolutely love it. Okay, so author's moments. We just ask you random questions, and you're gonna just give us your honest answer. Well, okay. I tell people now, well, give me your best answer because sometimes.
So the honest one's not going to work even on a non-PG show?
Yes. It'd be later on. You'd be like, really, Shay? Can you edit that out? I'm like, no, sorry. No, just playing. All right. Author's moments. What's your most urgent priority for the rest of the year?
And you want it to be writing related?
No, it could be, this is just life, period. Anything.
Yeah, well, my most urgent priority for the rest of the year is generally family. We get together every Sunday. I think we missed a month during the height of COVID. And then I decided, if I'm going to die with COVID, I'm still going to be seeing my family because I'm not someone who's going to give that up. Right. My grandbabies and my sons and everything. So we see each other every Sunday. And so my priority is always family. So, if I was never able to publish another book, I could still be a very, very happy person. Have something happen to one of my kids or my grandkids, and that would be, I don't know how people recover from that. So that's an easy one for me.
I love it.
Which doesn't mean I don't love writing, because I do, but it's just not who I am. It's just what I do.
I love it. Oh, I am is what I do. Yes, Miss Foster. Okay. Author's moments. And being a novelist, what did you learn a little too late?
Oh, that I don't need to voice every complaint I have to an editor. Mm-hmm. I'm extremely fortunate that never backfired on me. But I was always a strong fighter for my voice. And maybe, you're not as tactful when you're young as you are when you get older. And so I think there were a few times where I dug in and probably wasn't as polite as I could have been to the people who were actually publishing my books. So, I have regrets for that, but it never backfired on me. I was extremely lucky. I've always been on sort of an upward path with publishing, sheer luck. So, I'm very, very grateful for that.
That's what's up. I love that.
Which
Okay.
I don't mean that I was hateful. I wasn't hateful. If someone changed a passage that I really liked, I didn't hold back and I didn't think, well, they're publishing my book, so I have to take it. I would debate it vigorously for why it was important to be where it was. So,
It's almost like Erica Badu. I don't know if you know who that is. It's a singer, and she's like, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. So it's
I'm very sensitive about my shit. So yes.
Exactly. It's the same thing. So I totally get it. I get it.
Good.
I get it. And I always thought, someone told me one time, it's like, Shay, you should write a book. And I'm like, I have a hard time. I have so much going on in my head. First of all, my husband said a couple of people live there, but only certain people can like literally go in my mind and take a picture and can just tell me what I'm thinking. I'll be like, yes, that's it. But they're not editors. So,
right.
Yeah. So I would be so frustrated. Yeah. They'll be like, yo, Miss Laurie, Shay's a bitch. Because I would be in that.
Yeah.
But just being
a really good editor understands your voice and doesn't try to impose his or her own voice on top of that, especially if you're already successful. So they know that your voice is resonating with readers. And I have to say, I've had a lot of really, really wonderful editors. One that I didn't think was a wonderful editor, and that's what I was referencing before. But the rest of my editors, I've been extremely fortunate. So, it's like they get me.
Yeah, and you don't get to choose them either. The publishing company chooses your editors, right?
Well, they choose them, but then if you have issues, you can generally, if you're doing well enough, if you're just starting out, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're doing well enough, you can say, full respect to this editor, but there's a bit of a conflict and it's not working out well. It's a very, very important relationship, and so you don't want it to be adversarial. You want it to be friendly and open and honest on both ends, I think. So
yeah, and if you have just creative differences, it's okay. Just find me someone else. Now,
right. Find me someone who loves me.
Find me someone who loves me, who I can love back. Right.
Right.
But since now that you're established, and I'm sure when they're like, okay, Laurie has a book, let's get her editor, they know which ones gel best with you.
Yeah, they seem to, yeah. And then you keep the same editor for a long time.
Really?
It's not like they give you a different one for each book. You work with the same editor. And so they know, like my editor right now has been working on the schedule with me for 2022. So, we're way in advance, all the way through 2022, actually. So I know when my trade books will be out, when my mass markets will be out, what they'll do for those, what cover directions they're going to go. So it's plotted out pretty far in advance. You really wouldn't want a different editor who didn't know what path they were taking you on.
So when do you switch editors? Like, kind of like, okay, I'm going on to someone else, or how long do you keep them? Or do you switch them out, or do they just kind of,
No, you would keep an editor. So like, as long as you're the entire time I was at Kensington, I had Kate Duffy. Loved Kate Duffy. She's passed away, and she was one of the absolute best. The entire time I was at Berkeley, excuse me, I had Cindy Wong, also extremely, extremely wonderful editor. So when I first started out in category, I had two different editors. So the first one wasn't working out quite so much. The second editor was a much better fit for me. So, and that was a request on my end to give me someone different. So, if it fits, you stay with that editor unless or until you leave that. And anytime I left a publisher, it wasn't because the publisher wasn't good. You generally, when you finished your contracts, they make a new contract offer. And if another publisher makes a better contract offer and your current publisher can't match it, you'll probably switch to go, because the feeling is the more they're paying, the more invested they are in your career. So.
Look at you, getting awards. Go, Miss Laurie.
It's a complicated business, I know.
I love it. Okay. Author's moments. If you could have tea with one fictional character, who would it be? And why?
Now, do you mean my own or just any fictional
Anybody.
character?
It could be your own or it could be, someone else fictional character that you love.
Okay. I'm going to say um, Anthony Mallory from Joanna Lindsay's historical series, The Mallory Family.
Oh,
I just thought that guy was fascinating. I can reread that. I do reread that book pretty much every year. I feel the same way about Julie Garwood's early historicals, but for the life of me, I can't think of the character's name that I love so much. I was in Honor Splendor, and I just thought he was also a fascinating character. My big love when I'm reading is historical novels.
so
So right now I'm reading Vivian Leray. Oh my gosh, she's a well-established author, but she's new to me. And I think I've burned through about 20 of them already because they're so good. And then there's TJ Logan, who writes romantic suspense.
mm,
And I've read everything she's had out so far. So this was my year where I was trying to make sure I discovered new to me authors, but they're not new, they're just new to me.
okay. So you love reading historical, but have you ever thought about writing? Because you don't write historicals at all, do you?
No, ma'am. Historical is a talent all into itself. You
Girl.
know, I mean, I've said this before, but it's true. If I was reading a historical romance and I was really into it, they could have a Rolls Royce drive through a joust and I wouldn't notice because I'm just into the characters and the story. Obviously, a lot of people who are really picky about the historical facts would lose their minds. And so that means I would be getting chewed up and spit out all the time because I'm not a good history buff at all. Whatever they tell me in the historical romances I read, I buy into. So if
Oh,
they're lying to me, I'm completely fooled because I just love the storyline, and I love that the women had to fight harder
yeah.
because they started out with a disadvantage. I love that the men were big and strong and thought they ruled everything, and then they'd find out they didn't. And I love the whole thing. So
That's how it is today. The men think they run everything. Then they find out they don't.
right, yeah, exactly.
Okay, author's moment. If you could sit down with your 15-year-old self, what would you tell her?
Oh, geez, well, 15 is a rough age because everything is life and death.
Yes.
So I would tell myself to chill. There's a whole big heavy life ahead of me, and 60 was going to hit a heck of a lot quicker than I thought it would. But I would also tell myself to maybe start writing a little sooner, get a head start on that because I waited, not knowing that I would love it so much. So I would probably tell myself, you're going to be a writer, so jump on that a little quicker.
So why did you wait so long?
Well, for one thing, I just didn't know that I would enjoy it. Growing up, we had sort of a different home life. Back then, people drank a lot, they smoked a lot, kids were seen and not heard, and I sort of grew up wanting to get married, have kids, and run it like the whole Leave It to Beaver family. Where the woman wore a dress to fix lunches in the morning, and
Right.
the husband came home from work, and you had dinner on the table. I wanted that. That's what I really, really wanted. I wanted that whole normal, secure family life. Well, then my husband always worked third shift, so he would eat after I'd already fed the kids, and quite often he would be cooking dinner because I would be out doing something with the kids, a field trip, or if one of the kids were sick. What I envisioned life being was not what it was. He and I are very much partners. So even though I was the stay-at-home mom, and I say that loosely because I always babysat, I would clean other people's houses. We did odd and end jobs to make the budget meet before I became successful writing. So it ended up being far more of a partnership than I ever saw on those TV shows that I liked so much when I was younger. Where neither one of us sat down unless we could both sit down. So if he was busy working, I was up doing something. If, I got done and sat down to watch a movie, he was done and we sat down and watched a movie. So, we've been extremely fortunate that we've sort of always been on that same page with creating the life path we wanted.
That's what's up. This is what a partner is supposed to be. Aw, so sweet. Okay, so author's moments, pen names. So you don't necessarily have a pen name. I saw that some of your earlier work was up under, was it LL Foster?
So LL Foster, that's just my initials. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm Laurie Lee. So I just used my initials because that was for I called it a servant series, and it's darker, scarier, bloodier. The female lead is a paladin, so she's out killing people and destroying evil. So I didn't want to confuse people who liked my contemporary romance and make them think that that's what that series was. So I grabbed just using my initials. I'm a big believer that I wrote that sucker, and so my name's going to be on it. I'm not going to use a pen name, but I didn't mind just using my initials to differentiate, so I didn't have any readers that were ticked off at me for fooling them with
Right.
something that wasn't quite what they were expecting.
Now, Miss Laurie, if you were to have a pen name though, what would it be?
Shay Baby. No, yeah, that's a good one. I don't know. Geez,
You look like a Shay Baby.
my mom used to call me Lottie every so often, just joking around. Maybe I would do that. I don't know, but I've never really even given it much thought.
We're gonna come up with a hot name. Hey y'all, all right, Brown Book Series. Let's come up with a real hot name. Pen name, Miss Laurie.
Yeah. Old and tired. No, that won't work. So,
Sexy diva. We can call you that. That would be hot. Okay, so what do you value most? Free time, recognition, or money?
Well, without the money, the free time wouldn't be quite as much fun.
You're my type of girl. Listen.
Yeah. I'm not going to be this humble person that says I don't like getting paid well, because I really do like getting paid well. Like I just said before, I used to clean other people's houses. After you've cleaned other people's toilets, you like being paid well. So I much prefer paying someone now to come clean my house than me being the one doing it. But so that the free time is really important. But the reality is, anytime I have free time, I fill it with another story. So I seem to be happiest if my husband and I manage to get away for 3 or 4 days, and then I come back and I really need to write again, because it's just part of what I do now. And it's like getting up in the morning and brushing your teeth, having your coffee, sitting down in the evening to watch a movie. I write during the day. It's just part of what I do. And so I enjoy that an awful lot. The recognition, it's nice that I have enough of a name that I get paid well so that I can take off for 4 days whenever I want to. But, I don't really, I'm very low key about being an author. I don't, if people ask me, what do? I say I work for myself. I don't say I'm a published author. I don't really announce it. If I'm in a writer's conference where that's what we're talking about, I don't mind. But, like I go to my grandkids' plays and schools and sporting events and stuff, and I don't want to be recognized as an author when I'm there. If someone comes up and says hi, I'm polite. I don't mind. But I don't, when I'm running through Walmart, buying a few things, I don't, looking a mess. You don't really want someone to go, hey, there's Laurie Foster. It has happened, and I just say hi, and going about my business. But so the recognition isn't real important to me, except that it helps accommodate good pay.
Okay, I understand that. Okay, what's the one dream that you've tucked away?
I really, really, really one of these days would love to have a book turned into a movie, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm getting up there in years and it hasn't happened yet. And I can't even say that I'm actively pursuing it. I sort of just want it to just happen somehow. I don't want to have to put in the work to make it happen. I want someone to love one of my books enough that they say, we're going to make this into a movie. That would be awesome. But it's nothing. There's really nothing I pine over that I can think of. I always wanted to write kids' books too, and someday still think that I might. But that's like a whole different galaxy. I know how to go about the romance industry, but the kids' book industry is a whole different animal. And so, again, it would be a huge learning experience, I think.
Yes, no kids. So I get it.
Yeah.
Get it. Okay, author's moment. If you could master any instrument on earth, what would it be?
Like a musical instrument? La, 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 la. Maybe a banjo. Wouldn't that be fun? I
That
could
would
just be picking away at the banjo right now. Wouldn't that be fun?
that would be awesome. And
I
with the
know.
cat next to you, and our brain Scooby in here, we'll have a whole band.
I mean, we're pretty down home hillbilly type people here, so I'm not gonna say piano because I would never do the piano justice, But I can maybe pick a banjo. I don't know.
I understand that. So, Miss Laurie, on your books, how long does it take you to write a book?
Okay, so like one this size or this size, either one of these, usually takes me right around 3 months.
Oh,
If we're talking a novella, like the benefit books that I do for charity, those take maybe 6 weeks to write. So I'm a fairly fast writer, and I'm a really clean writer. So like where some authors do a first draft and then they have to go back and do a second draft and sometimes even a third draft, I just write and then I'm done. So
okay.
I don't really do drafts.
All right. And so, speaking of novels, you have a new book coming out called Colt. It's from
Hmm.
Guthrie Brothers, and it's
Right.
on June 1st. Can you tell
Correct.
us a little bit about that?
Okay, so first of all, it's one of my benefit books. So every year for a while now, I write a novella and the advance and all the royalties for the life of the book. So for as long as the book is out there, the royalties from the book go to a no-kill animal shelter. And it's sort of my way of being able to give back without having to go in and visit homeless animals because I've got 3 cats that are aging and don't like other animals around. And if I was visiting, I'd be bringing home pets all the time. So instead, I do this, my way of helping. And the books are generally digital only, but my publisher sends me 500 print copies that I sell to readers for a $5 donation to the shelter. So it coincides with my annual event that I do every year, which is also sort of a charity fundraiser. And Colt is from Don't Tempt Me and Worth the Wait. So in those 2 books, those were 2 brothers. One of the brothers had a son, which of course was the other brother's nephew. And Colt had his own little sort of secondary romance that was just a high school thing. So I really wanted to let him be a grown man and get his own story. A lot of readers told me how much they liked Colt. So he's just the next character that I'm doing for the benefit book.
That is so cool.
It's fun, right?
It's fun. I mean, giving back is always, I think, so cool. And then the way you're doing it, it's
Yeah.
like a no-brainer. So all your benefit books, they all go to the same charity, or do you mix them up?
Well, so the first few I did before I settled on the animal shelter, we did one for battered women's shelter. We did one for it was like a safe house for mistreated children. We've sort of bounced around in the beginning, and then I think it was maybe the 4th or 5th book, I sort of settled on the animal shelter and just stayed there. My current publisher took over publishing those, and they said it would be easier for them if they had a standard contract and it just always went to the same place. So that worked for me. So
That's
we just settled on the animal shelter at the event that I have every year, which if people don't know, normally it's a 500-person, very, very affordable event because I wanted it to be affordable for readers, 60 authors, but this year we're only doing 250 attendee because of COVID. We have to be able to space out a little bit. But we always donate all of our raffle proceeds to charity. The last couple of years that has gone to Cancer-Free Kids, which is research and treatment for children that end up with cancer. And I think the last year that we had it, which would have been 2019, 2020 was a loss because of COVID, our raffles got over $33,000. So what are you telling me?
2020 people who had paid.
Oh, so my husband's telling me. I'm looking over the laptop to see he always gestures and I don't know what he's gesturing about. But 2020, when we had to cancel the event, a whole bunch of readers said, just go ahead and donate my registration fee to cancer-free kids. So they still got a nice check, so people are extremely generous.
I love it. Tell your husband thank you. He's my assistant producer, so tell him thank you. He had to get you together real quick.
Okay, yeah. You just see me looking off into space and don't know what I'm looking at, but it's him. So
okay, I love that. Okay, so you have your event every year. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
My event?
Yeah. You say
okay, so I try to make it as affordable as I can for readers. I think it was $100 for readers. I think it was $125 for authors. So we ended up with 60 authors there. The last year we were supposed to have Sylvia Day and Jay Ward. I mean, there's so many really wonderful authors. But like I said, we had to cancel because of COVID. And there's 2 big book signings, Friday and Saturday. It starts on a Wednesday with a party, a welcome party. And then there are 8 boardrooms that are opened up throughout the day, and different authors sponsor those boardrooms. So attendees can go to, it's everything under the sun, games and little mini parties and giveaways. And so they can visit throughout those. You get breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Thursday and Friday, or Friday and Saturday, I'm sorry. Thursday, I think we have just dinner. So then you got, it's been 2.5 years now since we did it. So you get breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Friday and Saturday, and parties each night. So it works because authors, my husband and I negotiate strongly with the hotel so that we get really, really good deals. And then authors sponsor different sections of it, like the meals and the boardrooms and the parties. And you get a big, beautiful gift bag, generally with like 6 to 8 books in it, free books. It's a huge deal for readers. A really, really good deal considering what conferences usually cost.
This is not bad. Next year. Are you going to do it this year?
We're doing a much smaller event this year. So it's $63, and it's a 1-day event. And so, it's June 19th, which is a Saturday. Our registration is already full. Registration filled up pretty quickly.
Oh, wow.
But I'm still waiting to hear back from the hotel. The book signings are generally open to the public. And so I'm waiting to find out if we'll be open to the public again. They're still watching closely to see what the governor says and how crowded we can get. I think people are pretty good at social distancing. I think they won't crowd up on each other, I don't think.
No. So. You stand too close to her. Chill out. So
yeah.
I love that. And how long have you done this event? How many years?
So what was it? 15 years, Alan?
Wow.
How many years have we done this event?
Since the first one was 2005.
My husband said first one was 2005.
Thank you, producer.
Yeah, I am not a numbers person. So, that's anytime it involves a number of any sort, including dates, I have to ask him.
I love it. My husband will be like, I don't know. Let me, let me go Google something. Yeah.
Well, he's my partner in crime, so he really helps run it. He rents a U-Haul. Authors will donate books to be given away in the goodie bags. He literally has to run a U-Haul because if you have 8 authors donating 500 books, that's a lot of books.
That's a lot of books.
And so, he rents a U-Haul and we take it over there. There's all the banners and, promotional stuff. So he's the muscle that sets it all up while I walk around in a zone trying to figure out what's going on.
I love it. Absolutely love it. So, Ms. Laurie, when you are not writing, what do you like to do?
Anybody that's on my Facebook page probably already knows this, but we have a big pond. I love to go walk around the pond, feed the fish, feed the turtle, listen to the birds. And when I have enough time, we love to go to the park. We love Hocking Hills. We love Cumberland Falls. We even just go to a local park around here and take walks in the evening. Just something about being outside sort of recharges my brain. We recently got back from Pigeon Forge. That's my love to go to place because it's so laid back. It's very, very patriotic. Everyone is so friendly. You just, everywhere you go, people are just so happy to see you. And I love their dinner shows. So that's my, we go up into the mountains and we walk, and then we come back and we see a dinner show, and it's just loads of fun for me. Very relaxed
Yeah,
vacation.
I love Pigeon. Gatlinburg,
Mhm.
I love it. When I
Yeah,
was
me too.
like, I want to go to Dollywood. I love Dolly Parton. Even when I
Yeah,
was little,
I do too.
love
Yeah.
her. So I used to always want to go to Dollywood. So we were
I
all
haven't been there, but if I ever take my grandkids, which I'm not sure I can, I could only take my grandboys if their mom and dad went too, because grandma's getting old. And so I can run with them during the day, but about 6 o'clock, I want someone else to deal with them. I don't want to be having little kids bouncing off the wall while I'm collapsed somewhere, so.
I understand it. You haven't said the same thing about me. I could deal with her during the day. Around 6 o'clock, I need someone else to deal with her.
Yeah, yes. Give me a break.
Yeah, I totally understand. Okay, Miss Laurie, we almost finishing, coming down on our interview. This has been so much fun. So, if you were hosting a dinner party and could invite 5 people from any era, who would it be?
Oh, let's see. I'm going to say Mother Teresa.
Okay.
I'm fascinated by her. Martin Luther King would be a good one. Also fascinating. And I think with both of those people are used to hearing certain quotes, but you need to go back and really see more of what they stood for and what they said, not just the popular quotes from both. Both of them constantly on Facebook, I see the same recycled quotes, which doesn't really cover it. Edgar Allan Poe, I think, is incredibly. My husband's laughing at me. He's like, "What in the world?" I hate to say this because I'm not actually a fan of JFK, but I would like to, because I felt like that whole family was, into some hiding stuff. But I would love to meet him for that very reason. I think that the whole, the dynasty of the family would be fascinating to hear about. I can't even imagine what it would be like to be raised in that atmosphere, where you're always under the microscope.
Yeah.
It would be difficult. And boy, a fifth, I don't know. I can't even think of anybody. My husband's giving me one of these. What do you mean, you? I see him every night. I see him all the time. We're inseparable.
He's not invited to dinner. Come on.
Let's say Marilyn Monroe, because that girl had such a tragic life. I think that would be fascinating too.
Girl, I'm coming to your dinner party. Let me tell you why.
Yeah, why didn't I say Shay Baby? I'm going to invite Shay Baby.
Me and your husband.
What is your last name? Shay Brown?
No, it's Bohannon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Me and your husband going to be there because he got to help me assist. He's my assistant in producing the show. So we're going to be there anyway.
We'll do it.
I want to be there because I want to hear the conversation between JFK and Marilyn Monroe. First of all.
I know, right?
And I really want to hear the conversation between Mother Teresa and Martin Luther King. Like, I feel like...
Yeah. I bet they have more in common than anybody would realize.
Yeah, I think we all do. Yeah.
Different approaches to things, maybe.
Yeah.
But more in common, I bet. Yeah, that would be an interesting mix. On whole Edgar Allan Poe just be sitting over there in the corners minding his
eating his food, like what the
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, that's the Halifax dinner table there. We're gonna me and your husband, we're gonna be there. You gotta invite us. Like I said, we're gonna be there.
Okay.
Oh my God, we're unwinding now. We only have one question left in our interview. And I just want to first of all say thank you so much for coming and just stopping by and rocking with us. This has been so much fun.
You've made it very fun. I don't think I've ever done an interview like this where I had to think of 5 important people.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Okay, so before we go and before we ask our last question, I want you to tell everybody where they can find everything Laurie Foster. You give us your social media handles and where we can find your book.
So if you go to lauriefoster.com, all the social media handles are on there. I'm not real active on Twitter. I had someone else say to me, and I think it's very accurate. I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but he said, Twitter's like running into a bar fight and trying not to get hit by anything. That's how I feel about Twitter.
Yeah, so Twitter's a shit show. It goes down on Twitter.
Oh man, I mean, I posted a picture of country food the other day, innocently, not thinking a thing of it. Oh my gosh, it started this long battle about chicken and dumplings and how lousy food and restaurants are. And I'm tagged in every reply, right? And I'm just like, nope, minding my own business, coasting through this, not weighing in. So
engage.
yeah, I'm like, y'all fight it out amongst yourselves over there. I'm mostly on Facebook, but I am on Twitter occasionally, and I'm little by little getting the handle of Instagram. Mostly on Instagram, it's just me, throwing up a picture every now and then. I'm not real good at the whole promoting on there, but everything is on my website, lauriefoster.com, including all the books that are connected. So like you can click on books and connected books, and it'll tell you if the book you're getting ready to read is connected to another story. Tells you all the series in order and shows you all the reissued covers so that you know if you've already read it, because publishers like to reissue books and put a new cover and sometimes even a new title on there.
I'm sorry.
Well, why do they do it?
Yeah.
So I had an editor explain to me once that just as we buy different clothes because styles have changed, covers have to change to keep up with the times. And so, and it's true, you'll see a cover that looks really, really dated, but people still enjoy the book. So they'll update it, give it a fresh look. And, sometimes I think the original covers were the best, but sometimes they hit it out of the ballpark with like this one isn't bad, but this one was the Morgan cover, and all of the Buckhorn cover books, the original ones, were hideous. So basically, each reissue they've done, this might be like the 5th or 6th reissue, has been better, I think, than what the originals were.
Okay.
Now, if you ever get a chance to see the original Sawyer cover, oh my God, it made me cry. Because I was mad. When I get really mad, I cry. I don't really cry sad, but if I get really, really pissed, I cry. And my kids got home from school and they were tiptoeing, like, what's wrong, Mom? And I would just go, look. At the cover was so bad, but anyway.
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last question of the interview. If you were writing a book about your life, what would the title be?
Probably something about keep smiling or be happy or don't let the little crap get to you. I'm all about attitude is everything. Might be a good title for me, because I strongly believe that attitude can make you happy or make you miserable. And so, when you're going through difficulties, health issues or whatever, your attitude can be, why do I have this? Why do I have to deal with this? Or it can be, hey, I'm still here. I'm still here and I've got today, and, I'm going to have tomorrow. So that's pretty much me. Always trying to look on the bright side. And I think when you count those blessings too, you look around, I've got 3 healthy kids. There's some people that don't have their healthy kids. There's some people that have lost their children. There's some people that are dealing with, like the child cancer that we raise money for. There are always, always, always reasons to be thankful.
I love it. That's what's up. We are so thankful that you came and hung out with us today. It was it was a wonderful time chatting with you, Miss Laurie.
Well, I'm flattered that you asked me, and I appreciate being here and getting the invite and all the great questions and the great job you do.
Oh, thank you. All right, Brown Book Series. Go check out Miss Laurie's. Go to her website and get every book she has. Just go in there and go absolutely crazy by all her books. There's like 500 of them. So just go.
Yeah, there's a bunch. There's a bunch.
It's a bunch. Hold 1 second for me, Miss Laurie.
All righty.
All right. So if you love the interview, and I know you did, just hit the like button below, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to our channel. And you guys know the routine. So check this out. 6 o'clock, you're right here. Brown Book Series. At 7 o'clock, you're going over to Reese Ryan's channel. Reese Ryan, author, she's going to be over there with a lot of more content. And yo, I told you, it's like wonderful over there. They got that author stuff going on. And then at 8 o'clock, we go to Cruise Radio with Iris Bolling for Iris Moments. All right. Thank you guys. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. the fantasies. No one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book.